Old Henry Hudson found a river that touches New York. The rest of the river's just a flivver, because it creates such a talk. Summertime, that's the time spooners used to go rambling about. Now they take trips on rickety ships, but here's what I want to find out. Why do they all take the night boat to Albany? That's what's puzzling me. They all claim it's just for the sights, but just the same, they travel at night. I asked a fellow and his cute little pet, how is the Hudson? And they answered, it's wet. So tell me, why do they all take the night boat to Albany, then grab the next train for New York? I asked my girl if she would take the night boat with me. She said, does this mean you think of marrying me? I said, I wouldn't think of marrying anybody else. She said, what about that actress I saw you with 2 weeks ago? I said, now you've got me thinking. As we got on the boat, a handsome young sailor helped her off the gangplank. I said to her, do you think he was getting fresh? She said, no, but the night is young. We found 2 deck chairs side by side and lay there looking up at the sky. She said, it's so beautiful up there. Do you see the stars? I leaned over to kiss her. Who would think that a girl in a deck chair could deliver such an uppercut? I see them now, I told her. Seems every Tom and Dick and Harry is rid of his worries and cares. They found that the Hudson steamers carry a cargo of peaches and pears, huddled and cuddled together, with no one to shout, cut it out. Under they state, the river is great. To me it's a river of doubt. Why do they all take the night boat to Albany? That's what's puzzling me. They all claim it's just for the sights, but just the same, they travel at night. They play the searchlight on the shore as they float. They ought to play the searchlight right on the boat. So tell me, why do they all take the night boat to Albany, then grab the next train for New York? The Night Boat to Albany. That was written in 1918 and was a part of a musical. This is a song from Newfoundland. It's called Eyes the Bye. Well, bye is the local pronunciation of the word boy. Eyes the bye that builds the boat, and eyes the bye that sails her, eyes the bye that catches the fish and takes them home to Liza. If your partner Sally Thibault, if your partner Sally Bow, of the filling at Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Sod rods and rinds to cover your flake. Cake and tea for supper, codfish in the spring of the year, fried in maggoty butter. Hip your partner Sally to bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. All get twilling at Hutton's Harbor, all around the circle. I don't want your maggoty fish, they're no good for winter. I could buy as good as that down in Buena Vista. Hip your partner Sally to bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. All get drilling at Wharton's Harbor, all around the circle. I took Liza to a dance as fast as she could travel. On the trip that she did take, shoes up to her knees in gravel. Hip your partner Sally to bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. I'll get drilling at Wharton's Harbor, all around the circle. Susan White, she's out of sight, her petticoat wants a border. Old Sam Oliver in the dark, he kissed her in the corner. Hip your partner Sally to bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. All get drilling at Wharton's Harbor, all around the circle. This is called The Mermaid, traditional song. Last Easter in the morning fair, we was not far from land. We spied a mermaid sitting on a rock, with a comb and a glass in her hand, with a comb and a glass in her hand. First come up the boatswain of our ship, with courage, state, and bold. Stand fast, brave, lively lads. Stand fast, brave hearts of gold. Stand fast, brave hearts of gold. Our gallant ship, she's gone to wreck. She was so lately trim. Oh, that you want, spun her good, and the salt seas all running, and the salt seas all running. Then up spoke on our cabin boy, a well-spoke lad was he. I'm sorry for my mother dear, I'm lost in the salt, salt sea. I'm lost in the salt, salt sea. Last night late last night, the moon shone bright. You know she had sons five. Of a night she may look in the soft, salt wave and find but one alive, and find but one alive. For boats, flare boats, you fair Plymouth girls, know the trumpet sound. For want of the boat, our good ship is lost, and most of her young men drowned, and most of her young men drowned.
This is from a book of folklore from around the world. And it's about water sprites known as nix and nixies. Nix being the singular is neck for the masculine, the feminine nixie. Nix and nixies are spirits who dwell in quiet rivers and lakes. Their love of water is equaled only by their love of music, and their beautiful songs often draw listeners to the banks of their watery homes. They are avid shapeshifters and may appear as humans, merpeople, snakes, fish, sunken treasures, or horses. In human form, they usually have an elegant appearance, although their features might hint at their wilder natures. Their ears and eyes are sharper than usual, and their hair and skin might be tinted with green or blue. In more extreme cases, they can have gills, bulbous eyes, and webbed hands and feet. Their garments, though stylish, are chronically wet around the hems. When they take the form of horses, they are pure white or apple gray. Though they are far more beautiful than average horses, they still bear telltale signs of their true nature, having manes full of river weeds or constantly dripping water. Nix are magical beings. There's no limit to the hijinks they have committed. Their musical talent is beyond comparison. All of them sing sweetly, and some of them couple musical instruments with their already spellbinding voices. Their music is capable of hypnotizing listeners and drawing them into the water. Generally, nix have more power over women and children, while the feminine nixie entrance grown men. When they're in animal form, nix replace the charms of their music with dazzling physical beauty. As horses, they can hypnotize onlookers by prancing around, flaunting their manes and tails, as easily as they can when singing in a human form. Nix are magical, but they're not invincible. Dropping a piece of silver or iron into a neck's home can silence it, while you safely cross the water. Shouting the creature's name, on the other hand, can silence it forever. The neck will perish at the sound of its own name. When nix appear as horses, they're often subjected to tricks by local farmers who want to harness their magical powers to a plow. A neck might be lured into the field by a beautiful maiden, then forced into the plow's harness by men with silver or iron. The creatures can't bear separation from water for a great length of time, If they don't return to water regularly, their spirits and powers will become depressed. Eventually, they might perish from longing for their river or lake. You can ward the creatures off with holy water or by making the sign of the cross. When Nyx take a villainous bent, they usually have a seductive quality. With music or beauty, they lure humans closer and closer to the water's edge. At last, they grab their victims and pull them down into the water. This next is a poem written by Thomas Cole. Lines suggested by a voyage up the Hudson on a moonlight night.
Steeps the viewless spirits of the sky, pour from their starry urns on high. The pearly dew, each bud and flower, moistens its bosom in the shower, and every fay his goblet fills with nectar which the heaven distills. Hudson, the breeze has ceased to press thy wave, and on its placidness the moonbeams are caressed and lie, bright sleeping, undisturbed. Ever should loveliness recline on couch as beautiful as thine, from out thy depths the mountains rise, lift their shadows to the skies. In silent awfulness they tower, like specters that by magic power are called from some vast black abyss, caved in earth's bosom, bottomless. Whilst round each huge brow, rough and sere, the moonlight trembles as in fear. Yon moonlit bark beneath the hill hath not a breeze its sail to fill, but gently on the ebbing flood it glides past mountain, rock, and wood. 'Tis like yon cloud that moves on high, alone, no other cloud is nigh. The winds are still, but on its springs, borne by its own aerial wings, I love this stilly hour of night, for fancy's vision are more bright than in the troubled glare of day. With all its pomp and proud display, midnight hath loosed the chain that bound the spirit to its earthly round. This is a song that was written by a lobster fisherman in Maine in the 1980s. His name is Dixon DeVore II. And this is a song called Trap Day. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day. Trap day. Trap day. Got a stern man named Joe, and he's raring to go on trap day. Trap day. Trap day. Whatever the weather, be it sleet or snow, or let it be blowing a gale. Whatever the weather, I still gotta go on trap day. Trap day. Trap day. Well, the shaft needs repair, and the truck's about to die, and a lower end that's going down the drain. The waypoints it's reading would only apply were I just off the coast of Spain. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day. Trap day. Trap day. Got a bill at the boatyard and buffet to pay for hauling and getting her set. My bill at the boatyard and buffet, I'd say, is 5 times the national debt. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day. Trap day. Trap day. Gotta get me some money to fix my old truck, to hold my old traps to the dock. Gotta work like a bull in the winter for a summer that's put me in hock. Got me 2 tons of bait, and I just can't wait till trap day. Trap day. Trap day. Here's a song that was written in 1928. Called The Squid Jigging Ground. Oh, this is the place where the fishermen gather, with oilskins and boots and cape hands battened down. All signs is of figures, of squid lines and jiggers, they congregate here on the squid jigging ground. Some are working their jiggers, while others are yarning. There's some standing up and there's more lying down. While all kinds of fun, jokes and tricks are begun, as they wait for the squid on the squid jigging ground. There's men of all ages, and boys in the bargain. There's Lily Cave, and there's young Raymond Brown. There's a red rantin' Tory out here in the dory, a-running down squires on the squid jigging ground. There's men from the harbor and men from the Tickle, in all kinds of motorboats, green, gray, and brown. Right yonder is Bobby, and with him is Nobby. He's chewing hardtack on the squid jigging ground. God bless my sou'wester, Skipper John Chaffee. He's the best hand at squigging here, and all that I'll be bound. Hello, what's the row? Why, he's jigging one now, the very first squid on the squid jigging ground. The man with the whiskers is old Jacob Steele. He's getting well off, but he's still pretty sound. While Uncle Bob Hawkins wears 6 pairs of stockings whenever he's out on the squid jigging ground. Holy smoke, what a scuffle, all hands are excited. 'Tis a wonder to me that there's nobody drowned. There's confusion, a bustle, a wonderful hustle. They're all jigging squids on the squid jigging ground. Says Bobby the squids on top of the water. I just got me a jigger about 1,000 down. When a squid in the boat squirted right down his throat, and he's swearing like mad on the squid jigging ground. There's poor Uncle Billy, his whiskers are spattered with spots of the squid juice that's flying around. One poor little bye got it right in the eye, but they don't give a damn on the squid jigging ground. Now if you ever feel inclined to go squidding, leave your white shirts and collars behind in the town. And if you get cranky without your silk hanky, you'd better steer clear of the squid jigging ground.
River women. The temperaments of the river women reflect the natures of the waters they haunt. At times they are as serene as the calmest waters and seek only to delight and charm. A few days later, the waters roar and their mood changes. They drag their victim to the bottom, occasionally even eating them. On the whole, they are not dangerous in the summer and winter, but should be avoided in the spring. The pheneton should be shunned at all times, for they are so beautiful that any man who sees them must die within the year. The main occupations of the river women are singing, hair combing, dancing, and shape-changing. Like all water sprites, they do not stay in one form for too long and appear as humans, fish, or fishwomen. The Drakai are especially adept at transforming themselves and kidnap local women by floating down the river as golden rings, cups, and saucers. The poor washerwomen cannot resist such treasures and follow them into the water. They are pulled under by the waiting Drakai and compelled to serve as nursemaids for their waiting captors. One of the most traveled routes into Elfland will always be through water, fresh water in particular. The rivermen are guardians of this route, welcoming their favorites and blocking the way to the merely curious. They love to seduce young girls and show them the wonders of their underwater homes. Men are guided into their land by the Elf King's tune, played by the Nixon on golden harps or golden fiddles. Because of their office as custodians of this route, the Nixon and rivermen are particularly dreaded by humans, who fear the other world of the elves, as they fear madness, poetry, and extreme beauty. From this fear have been fashioned stories of so-called evil necks who suck the souls of their victims and keep them trapped in cages underwater. One day a nix will appear on the surface of a lake, singing softly and picking sweet melodies on his harp in the sunlight. The next day, an angry elf will spew jets of blood from the middle of the rig, raise storms, or demand revenge on those who have wronged him. Nixon can be helpful towards humans. They warn of drownings and make the price of rainfall in markets by buying at high prices. If given the right gift of black or white goats, hens, or roosters, they can be coerced into teaching humans the art of fiddling. But if the nix teaches the man an elf king's tune, the man will not be able to stop fiddling until he plays it backwards, note for note, or until somebody cuts the strings of his fiddle from behind. Those who want to be completely safe from the Nixon and the rivermen should repeat this rhyme before bathing or going near a lake. Neck, neck, needle thief, you are on the water, but I am on the land. Neck, neck, needle thief, you are on land, but I am in the water.
Rum-dee-dum-dum, pour me some rum. I'd rather be a lobsterman than a bum. But unless my traps fill up and soon, you'll find me on the floor of the nearest saloon. Up at dawn, hauling traps each day, looking for toggles gone astray, working hard to make a day's pay. Rum-dee-dum-dum-dum, pour me some rum. Fishing's lousy, but I just can't stop. I'm so weary that I could drop. Lines all wound up in my prop. Rum-dee-dum-dum-dum, pour me some rum. Rum-dee-dum-dum, pour me some rum. I'd rather be a lobsterman than a bum. But unless my traps fill up and soon, you'll find me on the floor of the nearest saloon. Payment on my boat is now past due. Nothing but shorts are coming through. Next I expect there'll be shedders too. Rum-dee-dum-dum-dum, pour me some rum. 40 knots on the southwest blows. Spray hits my face and my whiskers froze. Icicles hanging from my nose. Rum-dee-dum-dum-dum, pour me some rum. Rum-dee-dum-dum, pour me some rum. I'd rather be a lobsterman than a bum. But unless my traps fill up and soon, you'll find me on the floor of the nearest saloon. Working hard just to stay ahead, but I'm just keeping the wolffish fed. Need me some lobsters or I'll be dead. Rum-dee-dum-dum-dum, pour me some rum. Rum-dee-dum-dum, pour me some rum. I'd rather be a lobsterman than a bum. But unless my traps fill up and soon, you'll find me on the floor of the nearest alone. Thank you. Well, I have one more song for you. This was a song written in the 1920s. And every line was written by a different person, one of them being Sinclair Lewis. It's called Abalone. Oh, some think that the Lord is fat, and some that he is bony. But as for me, I think that he is like an abalone. Oh, some drink rain and some champagne and whiskey by the pony. But I would try a glass of rye and a hunk of abalone. Oh, some like jam and some like jam and some like macaroni. But our tomcat gets nice and fat on juicy abalone. The more we take, the more they make in deep sea matrimony. Ray suicide will ne'er be tied, the fertile abalone. I telegraph my better half by Morse or by Marconi, but when in need of greater speed, I send an abalone. Oh, Mission Point's a friendly joint where every crab's a crony, and true in kind you'll ever find the faithful abalone. Some folks boast of quail on toast because they think it's Tony. Bring me in a pail of gin and a hunk of abalone. Some live on hope, and some on dope, and some on alimony. But I'm content to pay my rent and live on abalone. Oh, some folks say that pain is real, and some say that it's phony. But as for me, when I can't agree, I eat